it's all over TV now. It's, you know, in our world.
April Simons, how are you?
I'm doing great. Excited about the show.
Yeah, this is good, isn't it?
It is. It's good for us to hear as the body of Christ.
Yeah, and to talk about it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Cindy Murdoch,
Hi there.
are you ready?
I'm ready, and I realize what will be unveiled and revealed today, that we need to really walk in the authority of the power that's been given to us, because darkness is real.
And to talk about that today is John Ramirez. Welcome to the table.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I'm like, wow, I'm blessed to be here with you. Thank you so much.
Well, for John Ramirez, the occult is not just a spooky topic he studied. He grew up surrounded by witchcraft, spells, and rituals, and in fact, rose to the level of high priest. But despite all the power he had gained, he would find there was still a power greater than he'd ever known. Now, I know the enemy hates it when we expose him, and that's what we're going to do today. For those of you that are dabbling in any of this type of stuff, or you have a family member that is, I really want you to pay close attention. But let's go back to the beginning. You were born into a family where some of this ritualistic stuff was going on. Talk about that.
Yeah, I was born into darkness, physically and spiritually. A broken home, broken family, abused dad. I grew up in that kind of environment. My dad was home. He was still absent. There was no love in the house. There was cruelty, beat my moms all the time. My dad was an alcoholic. His grandfather was an alcoholic, generational curse. And on top of that, to put the icing on the cake, was all demonic witchcraft from Santeria, from spiritualism, from communicating, they call it the dead, but it's not the dead, it's demons, familiar spirits. So all that stuff, at the age of 8 years old, I was already engulfed in the dark side. I'll see demons walk in my house like it was family. I'll see shadows. Someday I'll see people.
Were some of them gruesome looking, normal
No,
looking?
no, very. I tell you, when I used to meet with the devil in my later years, the devil was very charismatic, very handsome looking, and I. As you know, the Bible says he was an angel that was very beautifully made. So he'll come in that form of a human, charismatic. Handsome looking. And as you know, the Bible says he was an angel that was very beautifully made. So he'll come in that form of a human, charismatic, very elegant, very well-spoken.
So you had a volatile relationship with your father.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. It had a huge impact on you as a little boy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was a home that it was just, I mean, it was silent pain at home. There was no money for food, wear the same clothes throughout
This
the
is
year.
in what, the Bronx, New
In the
York?
Bronx, South Bronx, yeah.
Yeah.
South Bronx, it was outside of the neighbor was killings. We lived in a building, there was only 3 families out of 30 families. The building was empty, we were like squatters.
Wow.
Now, my father was a cab driver. My father was away from when he meet activity. We would see how the devil worship. We would feel the presence of the devil come into the house. One time, he turned the whole living room on fire. We thought the whole house was going to go on fire. The whole building was going on fire.
Yeah. You know, something did happen when you were 8 years old that might have been maybe a turning point where you really sold yourself to the devil, and it was in church, right? Did you go to a service?
Well, I went, actually, it was like a schoolyard. Like in the South Bronx, we had a lot of activity in schoolyards, a lot of music playing in schoolyards. So there was this individual pastor. At the time, he set up a platform and he had like an event out, Open Doors. And the event out, Open Doors, he preached, I guess that's what they called it at the time. I didn't know what was going on. He got on the mic and said some words about Jesus and love and all this. stuff. But then he came off the stage. He preached. I guess that's what they called it at the time. I didn't know what was going on. He got on the mic and said some words about Jesus and love and all this stuff. But then he came off the stage and he said, I want to pray for all the people here. And I got excited. I was like, wow, he's going to pray for me. And you could feel the love of God in the schoolyard. I mean, it was open air. You could feel the love. And when he stepped out and he started to pray for people, the closer he got to me, my heart was just pumping for joy because I never been loved. Only my mom would say once in a while she loved us, and my dad would never say that. So when he went, then he went to the next person, pray for the next. That really broke me. That really, really, really set the course for me to be recruited to the dark side.
Because you felt you were too young.
He thought I was too young and insignificant to pray for.
Yeah.
And that really broke me. That really, really, really set the course for me to be recruited to the dark side.
Because you felt rejection, I'm sure. Like, well, does the Lord love me? When he didn't mean it that way, but
Right.
the whole point in that, Rachel, you made earlier, how important is it to
Yeah, no, I mean,
reach children?
here you are.
Recruited to the
Yeah, no, I mean,
Reach children.
here you are, you feel rejected at home and unloved at home, and here's this opportunity when you feel like you're finally going to be accepted, you're finally going to be noticed, and you're passed by, and that's when the enemy used that small open door, that security to work in your life. I know that you know, your dad did some witchcraft and that was in the
You know, somewhere like somewhere like I'm on my end of the year, 8 years old, somewhere around there, close to my birthday, we went to my aunt had to go. My aunt was a witch, so my aunt had to go every 6 months. You have to get an assessment by the devil, car reading, to see if what kind of grade you get. So my aunt went with my mom's, dragged my mom's in with her. My mom was kind of dabbling in the occult just because she was like, my mom didn't know how to say no.
Right.
And out of
And
fear.
they would do these like tarot cards and
Tarot
that kind
cards,
of stuff. Yeah.
they would do parties, occult rituals. So they dragged me into
Which
this
are all
lady's
very
house.
dangerous, by
which
the
is
way.
Everything is dangerous. I mean, you can still be in 3 foot of water and a shark can still get you.
Yeah.
So, anything with the Ouija board, any tarot card, anything that points to the occult is dangerous because it's just open door, open portal, an opportunity for the devil to get legal rights over your life.
Right.
So when I went to this place, the lady was drawn to me, and she started reading the cards to my aunt. She told my mother that if I didn't do this ceremony, that's when I was going to lose my eyesight.
Wow.
So my mom sold all her furniture in her bedroom for $250 to do the ceremony for me, and that was my introduction to lose my whole childhood, and I went to the dark side.
Wow. At 13, what happened?
At 13, my dad. We were sitting in the living room.
At 13, what happened?
At 13, my dad. We were sitting in the living room. My mom's, some people, and my aunt coming busting into the doors. They killed Junior, and my dad got shot in the face for a woman that wasn't even his at the age of 33 years old, when he had a good wife home. And my dad passed on, and then I became the high priest of the home.
Wow. You know what is interesting to me out of all this, it's so hard for at least me to relate because I was raised in a Christian home, but it just shows me that not only to home, how did you ever...
To play outside in the playground, but the pastor was there doing an event.
Okay.
So then when I was younger, I remember I was laying in bed 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning to go to school, and I would get up and pray. And I would pray to the devil and say, kill my dad, and I'll become the next high priest. So the devil said, kill the oath kill the oath to take the new.
Wow.
So my dad died at 33, and I became the high priest.
How did you feel? Like when your dad died, because you never got that kind of
Peace.
reconciliation with him.
Never, I think at the moment, because the torment in the house, the abuse in the house, the physical, the spiritual abuse, the love not being there, I felt a sense of peace because now he's gone. My mother don't get beat up anymore. Now love will come into the house. We'll probably get some good clothes. There was Christmases that we would get up in the morning. There was no gifts under the tree. So all that stuff, I said, now my dad's gone, and we're going to be able to celebrate like a family.
So talk a little, I mean, a lot.
And the devil has his kingdom, and it runs by military ranks. Jesus has his kingdom, and you. And the devil has his kingdom, and it runs by military ranks. Jesus has his kingdom, and you have to make a decision who you want to give the soul to, who you want to give your life to, and running into this whole thing and going to the occult. Already at the age of 8, I was already going to demon church. Demon church it was from 7 to 8 because I had to sit around a table like this. And imagine white cloth, water in the middle, water means purification, and this.
Wow.
What are you passing to your kids? And this is, I was passed the baton to become the high-ranked devil worshiper in New York City. from the age of 8 to the age of 35 until I encountered Christ. And to me, demon church was normal. To me, it was okay. It was fine. Now, because they said, well, God will start, with God will finish. With God will start, with God will I thought they were talking about heaven.
So what kind of stuff would go on in the these rituals, and what about cursing and spells and going after people, especially non-Christians, to affect their lives in a negative way? Did that kind of stuff go on?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was being trained to know colors because demon work with colors, numbers. I was being trained by knowing what region, what territories demons operate in, like the Haiti, what demon operate there, what principality is in charge of Haiti, what principality is in charge of Islam. In the news, say you see the riots here, and then you see the riots jump from that place, it jumps here. So what I do now, I watch the news, and I break it, and I curse it, and I cut out the root and uproot it so it won't pass over to get going, because that's the way it works.
So the enemy is very strategic, is what you're saying.
Big time.
So he has principalities and powers set up over territories, very strategic. Another thing, and I've interviewed someone before that actually got involved in this as well, the astral projection.
Oh, that was me. I had mild jet blue.
And so your spirit would leave your body. And again, this was a satanic ritual that is really very dangerous.
Yeah, like where did you go?
It's you alive when you do that. I mean, you know that you're very conscious.
Done it and weren't able to come back.
Come back and die in the bed, pronounced dead, natural causes.
What do you do?
So the reason the astral projecting was so important to the dark side, it was the fact it was so important to the dark side because if you can astral project in the spirit realm, I was able to take over the people. They have more power than anything I can imagine.
So did you
go into the neighborhood? I will be like midair, and then I see this group of people, and I know they were Christian because they were at the time they were dressed funny. They were dressed with the whole big ponytail and all that. That means unity. That means there's power in unity. You can't the anger and the bitterness that I had towards Christian, I became bigger and bigger and bigger. So I
make somebody want to do this.
Power. You can discern one voice from the other. So Satan copies everything that Jesus Christ does, even to the point that Santeria sacrificed animals. Animals today, as you know, in Miami, it's legal. They sacrifice animal because they're copying the Old Testament.
Yeah. Wow. And
so
they use fear.
Well, fear is the number
like
one.
With the tarot cards, they would
fear
use
is number
that
one
fear.
factor. Because if I can implant fear in you, then I can control you.
And then big money.
Wow.
You make huge money.
So what were some of the devastating things that you saw happen
in this place? And and the results of that is nothing but brokenness.
So the darkness.
Deception. So I came to a point that I was lay in my bed the next day or night, and I would sit there in pure darkness, and I didn't know what to laugh or cry because I was empty. And then sit there and look at the situation, and then recruit you like a garment.
How real was this to you?
And when I came out, stepped out, there was a suffocation, and there was a heat. And there was a desperation that wraps around you like a garment.
How real was this to you?
Well, to leave 25 years of devil worshiping and take a chance that the devil was going to kill me if I left, or all the secrets of the kingdom of darkness, to lead that to follow men that I never knew.
Wow.
It was that real.
It was that real. Okay, so when you woke up or came out of it,
when I came out of it,
did you pray at that moment, or?
Yes. When I came out of it, it was you could feel my spirit go back into my body. It's a funny thing because my spirit went into my body like if I was in ICU. And then when I used to project, my spirit would come into my body in a different way. So when I came back, I knew, I felt in my heart that the Lord said, this is the only opportunity I can give you because you've done so much damage and so much harm that
So you knew this was your...
you only have one chance to make right with me. And I bent my knee to the cross of Jesus Christ, and I threw away $100,000 worth of witchcraft stuff. And I traded daddies for the one that was real. And I left the counterfeit.
And so what happened when you knelt your knee at the cross?
I knelt my knee at the cross. And I felt the love that wrapped around me. And he said, you are my son. And I call you to be an evangelist and warn my church of the dangers of the dark side.
I have heard so many people that I've interviewed over the last, how they would describe the love of God, that it wrapped around me, it enveloped me. And that's the kind of love that the Lord has for you today.
Amen.
He wants to wrap himself around you.